Hey all, this is Judith of judithtamara.com, Judith Tamara Design, and today I'm going to do my first monthly new moon reading on video, see how it goes. And so all of this is off the cuff. So if I seem a little trancy, that's what's going on. So I pulled these cards ahead of time, like yesterday, basically, and there are two cards for this month coming up. There's the card that's called Upheaval and the card that's called Retraction. And I know that we've talked about retraction before. Retraction at its essence is about the consolidation of material. It's about organizing material around a certain focus, a pinpoint, a special point that's important. And upheaval is about releasing yourself out into the bigger world, or being flung, if you hadn't intended to be released out into the bigger world. So what's interesting about these two cards, and I pulled this card first and this card second in tangent, is that they are actually next to each other in the deck. This is the 8 of qualities and this is the 9 of qualities. My deck is not in order, so that it ended up next to each other is very interesting. And this card is the primary, the first step, and this card is the second step when I drew them. So this card is about together, I guess we could talk about. This card is about expansion and this card is about contraction, neither in a negative way. Upheaval can feel a little disturbing sometimes because, as the name suggests, it like flings you out into a bigger world, into a bigger context, and sometimes that can cause upheaval in your life. It can also cause a rearrangement. I think in essence what this is about is a rearrangement of priorities. So upheaval has a quality of surprise to it. It has a quality of exuberance, of the unexpected, of things suddenly appearing in your life that cause you to rearrange things and question things. Now, if this was just by itself, you could say, that's all that's happening. You're just like flung open up into the world, right? For however long this lasts. But it's very interesting to have it with this card as well, because this is about a consolidation of material around these new priorities. So what you may experience during this time actually is a sort of a rhythm, a dynamic rhythm of expansion and contraction and expansion and contraction, or more specifically of opening up, letting go, and experiencing new priorities, and then having your life or rearranging your life around those priorities and bringing it back together. And then again, out. It feels like an exercise. Out and in. So this sort of rhythm, boink, 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 is going to be happening during this next new moon cycle. And this new moon is the moon of August 28th in 2019. So during this time period, you may actually feel this to varying degrees. It could be very subtle, or it could be very dramatic. It really depends on all sorts of other factors of your life and what you're doing in your life. Neither is a good thing or a bad thing. It's just different ways that they manifest in different people's lives. But what you may feel continuously is slightly like things, almost like you're in an alien environment. As this happens, you're put into a new world, and as this happens, it forms around you. And so you can sometimes feel like things really don't quite fit in your office or your room or your environment, like physically you're not quite able to settle into it, even though you may have settled into it fine before. Or you can also find that that you genuinely feel disoriented because the things that were important to you before are no longer important to you now. And even if you come back to that original value, you'll come back to it in a different way with a different understanding. So this is really, it's kind of like a deep cleaning kind of a process where you're like really getting rid of a lot of excess stuff that might have been holding you down or holding you back. But it can also be a little jarring during this time. So, of course, as always, self-care practices. Don't try and consolidate things by yourself. Allow them to actually settle themselves together. But when they do start settling themselves together, really enjoy that process of things coming into alignment and coming together in this more foundational kind of a way. And, you know, enjoy also the process of having things unexpected happen. Both of these things can be really enjoyable processes. They can be exciting. They can be revelatory. They can really show you new ways of looking at things. And that is, I think, the important process of this. Even though it's a little bit of an intense in and out, it's actually trying to get you to the place that you have stated that you want to get to, that you actually can't go and get to with a sort of a more linear or gentle process. So take care of yourself, drink lots of water, always. Get rest, and don't try to make everything make sense until it actually does start making sense. So don't try to jam it into something that feels comfortable before it's actually naturally settling in to that process. So that is all. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try and do these a number of times each month, either by video or by writing. And if you enjoyed that, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out the links that are in the description here. If you're ever interested in a reading, because I do readings separately, standalone, about your space, about your environment, about what you're creating, there is a link down in the recording about how you can talk to me about what that involves. All right, take care. Bye-bye.